Hello friends, Anikera here. In today's video, I am sharing with you my simple recipe for fermenting beets. This recipe for fermented beets is a great way to start your journey of fermentation. Whether you are a beginner or an expert fermenter, this recipe is going to work for you because it breaks down everything you need to know about fermentation, right from the equipment to the safety you need during fermentation. In this video, we are talking about lacto fermentation or lactic acid fermentation of beetroots. Lacto fermentation involves submerging vegetables and fruits or fruits alone in brine solution. So brine is a mixture of salt and water. And in this particular fermentation, we discourage using table salt because table salt contains iodine which may affect the fermentation process. Instead, we recommend using sea salt as I'm going to be showing you in the recipe. When lacto fermentation is done properly, it kills the bad bacteria while growing the beneficial bacteria or what we call the good bacteria. If you taste lacto fermented foods, you will notice that they have a tangy taste due to the acids which are produced during the fermentation process. First, we wash our beets because we do not want any dirt on our beets. After, we go ahead and we cut off the tops and then the bottoms. And then we go ahead and peel like you have seen how I have done. And then after that, after peeling, you are going to decide on the size which you want. Because if you want those which are very soft, you are going to make them very thin for that case. And then if you want those ones which are a little hard, a little crunchy, you are going to make them a little bigger. So that is a personal choice. Also, it is important to know that any type of beets can be used for this particular recipe, whether the red ones, the yellow ones, the orange ones, the long ones, like as long as they are beets, they can be used in this recipe. Also, it is important to note that the ones which are cut thin, they become soft very fast when they put in brine compared to the ones which are cut a little big, because the ones which are thin, they tend to ferment very fast. So choose your size wisely depending on the time you are going to ferment your beets. After peeling and cutting up the beets, next we are going to put our cut up beets into the jar. We are going to pack them into the jar. Here it is important to use a jar which is very clean. Whatever you use here must be very clean. If possible, sterilize the jar. Whatever you use, even the spoon, if possible, sterilize it. Next, we are going to prepare our brine solution, and it depends how salty you want your beets to be, your fermented beets to be. To every cup of water, here I am adding 1 tablespoon of salt. The salt I'm using is sea salt. I said we are not using table salt. We are not using table salt because table salt has iodine which affects the fermentation process. So it is important to take note of the type of salt you use. So after stirring the salt and dissolving it very well, we go ahead and we pour into the jar, making sure that the brine covers the beetroots very well. That is very important, that the brine covers all the beets very, very well. Next, we need fermentation weight. If you are a fermenter, you know that fermentation weights are very, very important. Here, I don't have the fermentation weight here in this video. I'm just improvising with a glass and I fill it with the same brine which has remained, because in case it drips, it is the same liquid which will be going into the jar. So that is going to keep the beetroots down. The jar which I have used in this recipe, I have just improvised. If you are a fermenter, you know that we have those particular jars which we use for fermentation. So if you are using the right jar for fermentation, it has its lid. So you go ahead and you cover with a lid. And then we say you don't cover tightly, you cover loosely for that case, because there are some gases which are produced during the fermentation process. But since we are improvising here, we are using cling film, but still, we are not going to put so tight in that. We leave room for the gases which are produced during the process. And that's what I'm trying to do, creating room for the gases to escape during fermentation. So the cling film shouldn't cover tightly for that case. So here, since we are improvising, it is important still to secure the cling film with a rubber or with a thread. In this particular video, I'm using a thread. It is important during fermentation to observe the maximum hygiene. Whatever you use must be clean. Even the thread I'm using here is clean. I sterilized it. After securing the lid or tying the cling film tightly like that, also not so tightly because we said you leave some room for the air, the gases which form. So now the next thing to do is to place the jar at the kitchen counter. And it is very important to keep the jar at room temperature. That is very important to keep the jar at room temperature for about 2 weeks or 1 week, depending on the temperatures outside. Sometimes the heat is too much and the fermentation tends to be very fast because the temperatures are very high. So that will depend on the temperatures which are out for that case. So as you keep it at the counter for some time, you'll notice that there are some bubbles which start to form. Some bubbles will start forming, and then you see them rising to the top, and those are the gases we are talking about. So for that case, it is important once in a day for some few seconds, to loosely open the top, to allow those gases to escape, because when they build up inside, that's not good for the product. But there are some fermentation tops which are there on the market, whereby if you use those ones, you don't need to loosen the top for the gases to escape. So that is also important. So again, with the time, you'll see that the brine starts to become soggy, and that is very fine as well. But after some time, you will notice that the fogginess will start to disappear, and the brine will become clearer. Though with the beetroots, because of their color, you may not see it that the brine is becoming clearer, but that's what happens when the fogginess starts to disappear. And once that happens, you know that the fermentation is complete. And how do we handle the jar or the fermented beets after fermentation? Because if you keep them at room temperature, they become sour, they become very soft. So it is advisable to keep the jar in a cool place. If you have a refrigerator, that's the best place to keep your fermented foods, because when you keep outside, they become soft, they become sour, and you may not enjoy that for sure. The lacto fermented beetroots can be used in salads. You can mix them in salads. You can have them as they are, as your snacks. Instead of eating a donut for your snack, you can have your fermented beets for that case, which is a very healthy option compared to the other snacks. So that is it for today. Thank you so much. If you have watched my video till this far, thank you so much. Kindly give this video a like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. See you in my next video. Love you so much. Bye.